Welcome back to the Movie Day Podcast, the one and only podcast that reviews a different film each and every day. My name is Grant, and I'm your host for this podcast. With me, as always, to dive into the world of cinema, we have Sky.
Hello.
And Ryan.
Hello.
So, Sky, what are we talking about today?
So today we have the film Annihilation, which is currently on Amazon if you want to watch it for free. It is directed and written by Alex Garland of Ex Machina fame. It's based off a book by Jeff Vandermeer, I guess a series of books, but this is only the first one. And it stars Natalie Portman, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Tessa Thompson, and Oscar Isaac. And essentially, just to give like a brief synopsis, it's like about a group of soldiers who sign up to go on an expedition into like a mysterious zone known as the Shimmer, where like the rules of nature apply differently. And that's essentially as vague as I'll leave it for right now. So, Ryan, what were your initial thoughts of this film?
I like this film. This film actually surprised me in 2018. I went into this movie thinking it was going to be just another one of those sci-fi movies that's going to try too hard, and I came out like, you know what, that was a good film. That was pretty good. So, I mean, the director, Alex Garland, I liked Ex Machina. So he did a great job with Ex Machina. And I knew when he was directing this, but like just from like the trailers, I was kind of a little underwhelmed by what I saw with the trailer. So yeah, it was a good surprise. I'll dig into it deeper in spoiler talk, but I'll leave it very vague for right now. Definitely recommend it though.
All right, yeah, this is the second film directed by Alex Garland. He's wrote others before his two director films. He wrote 28 Days Later and Sunshine, both of which I like very much. As well as this movie, I do like it. Not as much as the previous two, but it is growing on me. This is my second time watching it. This is a movie where you definitely, I think, need to watch it more than once to fully appreciate what it's going for. All the acting is pretty good all around. The production design especially is fantastic. I think that got snubbed for award season for sure. The soundtrack, another thing that got snubbed. Like if you watch the trailer, that theme is just fantastic. But yeah, I don't want to get into it too much before spoilers because there is a lot to get into. But I would highly recommend watching it.
Yeah, I would agree with you guys. This is my second time watching it as well, and I got more out of it for sure. I would agree. The soundtrack is awesome, super eerie. The lighting and production design is amazing. Acting's all good. The directing I really like. I love the theme it explores, visual effects, but it's really good. Really enjoyed my second viewing. Do you guys want to transition into the spoiler discussion? If you want, I can lead off too by giving a brief summary, I guess, now that we can get into some spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's dig
All
into
right.
that. Let's do it.
Okay, so this film, essentially, Natalie Portman is a biology teacher who was in the military. You like briefly know that, and she's married to Oscar Isaac, or Oscar Isaac's character named Kane, who is, I guess, missing over a year at the beginning and presumed dead, and then he randomly shows back up approximately like a year later with no memory, and essentially he gets sick, starts getting throwing up blood, organ failure, and then Natalie Portman figures out where he was, and essentially she decides that like the only way that she can find a cure for him is to go through this mysterious zone that he went through, known as the Shimmer. And so she goes in with a team to see if they can like find like a way to heal him, essentially. So that's essentially the whole film summed up in a nutshell. So what should we discuss first, guys? There's a decent amount.
Yeah.
I think we should mention that she cheated on Oscar Isaac. I think that's the main reason he decided to go into the Shimmer, and why a lot of people decide to go into the Shimmer, because I think someone in the team literally says that they're all damaged goods, or we're all damaged goods here, something along those lines. Because all the teams that go into the Shimmer never come out, and I think that's a big thing, like, because he just doesn't want to be around her.
Yeah,
After he finds out, and he just goes in.
Oscar Isaac and Natalie Portman do end up coming out, but yeah, everyone else essentially. Well, is it fully them? I guess that we'll get into that later. But yeah, I guess I think we should dive into the big cancer metaphor theme.
Yeah, I actually like the cancer metaphor. After watching it a second time, I didn't notice like how many times that they said, or like they had mentioned cancer, like when verbally. Like I didn't catch that the first time, obviously, because I didn't really understand the theme like right away when the first time I was watching it. But the second time watching it, I was like, since I understood like what the theme was there, or like what message that was trying to portray, I noticed that the dialogue mentioned cancer in several different sentences that I didn't pick up before, and I was like, oh, so they're like not really subtly hitting on it, but they're hinting on it in some way. I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but like, yeah, like, because we were like talking about it like when we were watching it, that, you know, we were saying like how like, oh yeah, they mentioned like cancer like verbally like a lot, like the second time we all like went through it. So
yeah, I mean, Dr. Ventress, like, who's played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, they say she essentially has cancer. The daughter of one of the military women who goes in with Lena, Natalie Portman's character, her daughter, you find out, died from leukemia, and that's why she's going in. I guess one thing I looked up, just like a brief like thing about the movie, was it's interesting. All of the film focuses on all these women who go in, and like breast cancer is the, I guess, most common form of cancer. So that was an interesting reason, I guess, why all the women are there. They're all either doctors or scientists, I guess, and also in the military. Various races, ethnicities, again, trying to, I guess, show how cancer affects everybody. Even the men who went in first team was all men, and only one of them made it. Second team was all women, only one of them made it.
So we think.
Yeah, well, yeah, and that kind of gets into the whole thing of, in the end, right? Like, they both make it out, but are they themselves? Like, they don't recognize each other. They both have the shimmer in their eyes, kind of showing that like they're always going to carry around like cancer. Essentially, you never can fully be yourself after you go through that. And then Grant, like you were saying, like she was kind of, I guess, a cancer, for lack of a better word, in her marriage by cheating on her husband. He'd go off in the military.
Yeah, even in the beginning when she's explaining to the class like what kind of cells they're looking at like the cells of a woman with a tumor.
Oh yeah, even that one. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of little nuggets.
A lot of references.
One of the things that I noticed is Lena, she has the tattoo at the end, like the snake eating itself. But at the beginning, she doesn't have it. Like when she goes into the Shimmer, she doesn't have it. And one of the soldiers that like died in the Shimmer had that tattoo.
That's super cool. Yeah, so she like, again, they were all mutating together, kind of. They were in the Shimmer. Yeah, and like again, that fits her character well, right? She gives the whole speech about how it's, well, her and Dr. Ventress give the whole speech on self-destruction. Like she said, I think Lena says it at the beginning, like cells, like why would God like create us, you know, in his image or whatever? Because like we are like made to self-destruct. There's like an actual problem in our genes. like, or else we would live forever, or something like that. And then Dr. Ventress gives the whole speech about everyone engages in self-destructive behaviors like smoking, drinking, but no one really commits suicide. And then eventually she even references like cheating. People cheat on their, husbands and all that stuff, and that
Yeah.
ties into Lena's character. But yeah, I mean, all the shots are like super, super well done in this movie. I love like so many shots that, like cells dividing, things mutating, different, just like frames of like at the beginning you see like the glass of water and both of like Lena and Kane's hands holding, and it's like distorted by the water. At the very end, you see the water like split in two, kinda. Yeah, a lot of cool, I guess, shots around like kind of like mutating the lens, altering it, like mirroring effects too, I guess.
Yeah, another thing I noticed too the second time, I wasn't 100% sure, but then I looked it up afterwards and confirmed it. But in the shimmer, like that house, like kind of towards the middle that they were at, was actually Natalie Portman's house, or Lena's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. How does that make sense then? I'm trying to think.
Like it kind of, like the shimmer, like it kind of refracts things, like it'll like refract things like from your mind as well. So like
Okay, so it kind of like
created
put the
that.
house there. Okay. Huh. Yeah, I did not notice that. Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either.
I guess another thing I would bring up, I liked how, I guess all the characters were kind of like a different way of how people handle cancer, essentially, when they get it. Like some people, like Dr. Ventress, like she kind of like wants to like, figure it out, but she's also very accepting of it, I would say. Like she's like super nonchalant, just like ready to get on with it.
Yeah, she wants to face it.
Yeah, Tessa Thompson just gives up, accepts it, lets it kill her. Gina Rodriguez, who plays Anya, she like fights to the death to try and stop it. And so it kind of shows like either way, you're kind of, no matter what you do, like it can still get you. And like I like how they talk about how it is, right? Like it's not evil; it's more just like changing things. Like the definition of annihilation, essentially changing something back into its energy form. Well, that's like the physics, I guess. But so that's kind of like everything is just converting into energy and like a source for something else.
Which is why the people get changed into plants, into nature. Well, nature is like a different type of energy than humans are.
Well, yeah, I'm just talking about like food source for the ground, turn to fertilizer, essentially.
Food source for that scary ass bear.
Or Scream Bear, MVP Scream Bear.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
Yeah.
That scene was great, and the ending was really, really well done.
Yeah, the visuals again in this movie are like insane. I don't know how it didn't get like more Oscar buzz for like the production design and visuals.
Didn't get any Oscar buzz. For some reason, I think everyone just forgot this movie existed.
That's what sucks. It came out in February.
Yeah. So
It's
early
annoying.
in the year that people overlooked it.
I think another thing I like about this too, they don't really hit on it a lot, but like the time jumps within it, like everyone, like the days just fly by. Everyone's essentially just like, we like literally have 3 days less food rations now somehow, and no one knows how that's possible. And again, I think it kind of just goes in the mindset when you get cancer, you're kind of just like almost living to die in a way. You're just kind of not really living. You're just kind of there, like wondering if you're gonna make it or not.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what did you guys take away from or how the movie ended?
I kind of take it as they both like both of them were survivors, but like they're gonna carry that forever, and they're like forever changed. Like they are no longer who they are. They've been like mutated into something different. I guess that's kind of how I take it.
Yeah, I kind of just take it as like we aren't the same people we were yesterday. Like we adapt and change like based on our surroundings. And it's like general things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how I take it too. Because like in the end, like you see like when they hug each other that they still have like the shimmer or whatever in their eyes. So kind of just like they took a piece of that with them when they left. And they're never going to be the same because of trauma, and trauma comes back. Trauma is a reoccurring theme with Sky's picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Trauma and the character and You Were Never Really Here. Velvet Buzzsaw giving me trauma.
Yeah, that was a meta trauma for all of us. I guess I have like I don't really have this as a complaint with this movie, but normally this would bug me more. But they did it, I think, in a way that it didn't. But like at the very beginning, when she's being or when Lena's being interrogated by Benedict Wong, Lomax, the guy in the hazmat suit, he essentially is like, everyone is dead except you, and one person's missing, and you don't know who any of these characters are yet because you don't know them by name at this point. But normally in a movie, I'd be like, oh, like now I don't have to worry about these characters or whatever. But like that didn't like I guess happen in this movie, because even as the movie goes on, like shortly after that, you learn all those characters. But like I don't know, I guess it didn't like ruin the experience of me like knowing they were gonna die. Whereas normally I'd be like, oh, like now I don't have to care. Like it didn't do that for me, which is strange. Like normally it would.
Yeah, I kind of felt the same way about that. There were some things though that I would rather not have to me explained, like after the bear scene, where Tessa Thompson's character is explaining.
Yeah, I would agree. They
like exactly what happened.
They definitely do give a little too much at times explaining and like the dialogue. It doesn't ruin it for me, but I can definitely. I wish they would have.
Well, they kind of made up for it at the end, like where they just kind of left that up for the audience to decide.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, most of it is pretty subtle, but there are some parts where they like really go into it. But yeah, again, not enough to make me not enjoy it by any means.
Yeah. My complaints with this movie are definitely very minor.
So, shall we
I guess, does anyone else have any final thoughts before we give it our ratings?
No, I think that's about it for me.
Yeah, I'm good.
So yeah, I'm actually gonna give it an 8 for now. We'll see after I watch it again, because I definitely will at some point.
Yeah. I'm at an 8 also. I've had it at an 8 for a while. And it's staying there after watching it again.
Yeah, I would I guess I would agree. I have it as well at an 8. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it, just as good as I remembered it, if not even a little bit more, because like I said, did get a little bit more out of it this time. But yeah, overall, a very, very solid film. Definitely would recommend it.
Yeah, it rewards multiple viewings for sure. But Ryan, I think you pick our next movie.
Ooh, I get the honor of picking. My movie is gonna get Sky all riled up. I know that. This film is titled Tangerine,
How dare you? No, I haven't
the
seen
fruit. Yeah, Tangerine. That's what I'm going with.
movie-
It's
The movie
free
shot on
on
an
Hulu.
iPhone.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't
it's
seen
got-
it either.
It's got good reviews, so
It's been on my list for a while. I forget.
yeah.
I forget where I heard about this movie from.
Yeah, there's been buzz for it.
It's like I found it somehow. I mean, I know the
Yeah.
director, so I know his previous work.
Yeah, he directed the Florida Project after he directed Tangerine. I'm not sure if he did any other movies that I would know. I'd have to go check it out.
Yeah, I just know the Florida Project.
The Florida Project was very good until about the last 30 seconds.
Yes, yes,
I would agree.
I agree. We might talk about that.
Yeah, we might revisit it. Maybe the ending will have more meaning to that film. But until then, I guess Ryan is giving us
I'm gonna give
Tangerine.
you the pleasure of watching Tangerine.
Sounds good. So if you guys like this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well as leave a like and a comment. As a new podcast, we would love to hear your thoughts, suggestions, and recommendations. To keep up with updates and other news regarding the podcast, follow our Twitter and like our Facebook page listed in the description below. Anything else you guys want to say before we get off?
No, I
Nope.
think we did it.
We covered it.
Yeah, another one in the bag. And on that note, see you tomorrow.